Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom to you Hebrew Israelites. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian nations. Got to give our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the occupants pushing the truth throughout the four winds of the earth, waking up over the elect. Shalom to the Akwa for our listening and learning. I'm Isaiah coming into another lesson in truth, fact, faith, and edification. And this is, I got a couple of short videos about what happened in Israel. And the title of this lesson is Pompeo warns Russia, get out of Venezuela. And you got about, let's say, over 600 rockets fired at Israel. Open war. So, this is showing you how prophecies are happening. While you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans is sitting around playing games and worrying about your life and trying to be successful or trying to be prosperous or worrying about the cares of this world, the Lord have prophecies playing out, man. And he's showing us, because this is the Lord's doing, man. The Lord is showing us every day. Prophecies are playing out, man. We are in the end time when our Lord and Savior is finna come back and destroy this place. He's coming back to deliver his elect. And things are happening, man. Okay? But the Lord got these things going on specifically in the land of Israel because this is prophecy according to the Bible, man. Okay? Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4 clearly tells you that the Lord said there shall be no wars. So if them was the real Jews in the land of Israel, if those were the real Israelites, it wouldn't be no war in that land, man. Okay? But you got wars going on against them Edomites and against the Edomites and the Ishmaelites, man. Okay? It's war going on. First they well, not first, but you got one of the things they did is Trump making Jerusalem the capital, okay, of Israel. Then you got them taking the Golden Heights, man, from these Ishmaelites. So you got the Edomites and the Ishmaelites over there fighting their land, and it's not even their land, man. Okay? According to the Bible, that's not their land, man. That's you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans' land. Okay? You Hebrew Israelites. But they fighting over that land, which is prophecy of the scriptures, man. And so Lord's witness be edifying.
Welcome back again, everyone. It's Dina Calmette here with CWW7 News. And for today's broadcast, I'd like to bring you a quick breaking news update in regards to the United States, Russia, and Venezuela. Also, what is happening in Israel. And I'd like to take you to this first report from Fox News. And they are reporting that Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had strict words on Sunday for the Russian foreign minister regarding Venezuela, a day before the two were scheduled to meet to discuss, among other things, the continuing political crisis in the South American nation. Pompeo stated during an interview that I'm going to tell him the same thing the president told the world, that every country must get out, including the Russians. That's what I'll tell him. We don't want anyone messing around with Venezuela. Pompeo also added that we want Venezuela to be an autonomous, independent, sovereign state with democratic elected officials. This is what we desire for the Venezuelan people. It goes on further to report that the Trump administration on Friday leveled pointed but vague threats of a military response to the Venezuelan political crisis. The acting defense secretary stated that we have a comprehensive set of options tailored to certain conditions, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Pressed to say whether the options include direct military intervention, he also went on to state, I'll leave that to your imagination. All options are on the table. Meanwhile, President Trump has backed off his threats of using U.S. force to remove Maduro, stating on Friday following his call with the Russian president that the two world leaders share the goal of peaceful end to the crisis. And RT News is reporting that the Russian foreign minister has warned that Washington's irresponsible plan to overthrow the Venezuelan government by force would result in a catastrophe, calling on the U.S. to stick to the international law on Venezuela. The Russian foreign minister denounced an unprecedented campaign by the U.S. and aimed at toppling Venezuela's legitimate government, stating that what Venezuela needs right now is political dialogue, not power grab attempts. So still a very tense situation in regards to Russia, the United States, and Venezuela. And I will continue to follow these reports and bring you updates. However, I would like to move on and talk about what's happening in Israel. The Times of Israel is reporting terror groups in the Gaza Strip on Sunday intensified their attacks on Israel, killing 2 more people and injuring several others with large rocket barrages aimed at the country's south. A number of longer-range projectiles fired toward central Israel, and 1 anti-tank guided missile strike on a car near the Gaza border. From Saturday, some 600 rockets and mortar shells were fired from Gaza at Israel, with about 2/3 of the projectiles striking empty fields. The latest fatalities, in addition to the man killed in a pre-dawn rocket attack, raised the total Israeli death toll for Sunday to 4, making it Israel's heaviest losses from Gaza since the 2014 war. In response to the rocket attacks, the Israeli Air Force on Sunday bombed a vehicle in Gaza City carrying a Hamas field commander who was responsible for funneling money from Iran to Gaza terror groups, killing him and wounding 3 others. The army also targeted dozens of sites connected to terrorist organizations throughout the Strip, including the homes of many terrorist leaders that the military said were used as weapon caches. And as of Sunday afternoon, 6 other Palestinians were killed in Israeli airstrikes. It goes on further to report that on Sunday afternoon, the Israeli Security Cabinet held a meeting about the fighting in Gaza, and later instructed the military to intensify its attacks in the Strip. Throughout the day, terror groups in the Strip threatened to step up their attacks and shoot deeper into Israel, including at Tel Aviv, if the IDF strikes continued. In a statement to his cabinet this morning, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated that I instructed the military to continue its massive strikes on terror elements in the Gaza Strip and ordered it to reinforce the troops around the Gaza Strip with tanks, artillery, and infantry force. Netanyahu also stated that Hamas bears responsibility not only for its attacks and actions, but also for the activities of the Islamic Jihad, and it is paying a very high price. Netanyahu said that we are acting, and we will continue to act to restore quiet and security to the residents of the South. And the Jerusalem Post is reporting that the former National Security Advisor stated on Sunday that Iran, through Islamic Jihad, its proxy in Gaza, is behind the current escalation in the South. The former National Security Advisor stated that Iran's interest is for Israel to embark on another major operation in Gaza, freeing up Iran to do what it wants unhindered in Syria. The Iranian idea, he said, is that Israel will be busy focusing on Gaza and not have enough energy to deal with the building up of an independent war machine in Syria. The Jerusalem Post is also reporting that a defiant Hamas and Islamic Jihad officials said on Sunday that they don't rule out the possibility that the current round of fighting in the Gaza Strip could lead to an all-out war with Israel. The warning came as leaders of the 2 Palestinian groups continued their discussions in Cairo with senior Egyptian intelligence officials on ways of ending the current round of fighting with the Jewish state. Unconfirmed reports on Sunday evening claimed that Hamas had indicated its readiness for a ceasefire with Israel, but Hamas officials in the Gaza Strip did not comment on the reports. An Islamic Jihad spokesman said that the resistance was on the threshold of a new phase in repelling the Israeli aggression that could lead to an open war. He stated that in light of the continued aggression on our people and the targeting of children, houses, and the implementation of the policy of assassinations, we are on the threshold of this phase, and we will not have mercy on this enemy. In a statement issued on Sunday evening, Islamic Jihad said that it was ready to wage an open confrontation with Israel. It said that the continuation of Israeli military strikes will be met with a similar and large-scale response targeting all of Israel. So definitely a very serious situation. Now, hopefully they will come to a ceasefire soon, but we can very well be on the edge of some biblical wars, and I will continue to keep
Now, overall, man, this is the spirit of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh and His Son Yahushua, to put the spirit on these elites, Edomites, which is the Rothschilds, because they are the ones that funding these wars, man. Okay, or these little back and forth missile attacks. Okay, this is prophecy, man, because the Lord said that heathens were trodden down your land. Okay, until the time of the Gentiles come in, man. These things was prophecy to happen, man. So just seeing these things happen, you know that we are closer to the end, man. Okay? But it's supposed to be peace in the land. That's supposed to be the Holy Land, but they shoot missiles at each other over there, man. The Ishmaelites and the Edomites. Okay? Now this is supposed to be the Holy Land, but you got these Edomites got one of the biggest, or if not, it is the biggest gay parade over there in Tel Aviv, man. Okay? But this is supposed to be the Holy Land of peace.
Welcome back again, everyone. It's Dina Kalmett here with CWW7 News. And for today's broadcast, I do have some breaking news I'd like to share with you. I wasn't going to bring you a broadcast until Monday, but there's just too many things that are happening right now. So I felt to bring you this quick broadcast today and get you caught up on these headlines. And I first would like to...
And this was like Friday.
Talk about what is happening with Israel. The Times of Israel is reporting that 220 rockets have been fired at Israel. 2 have been hurt, and the IDF has hit terror targets, destroying the IJ tunnel. The European Union has called for rocket fire from the Gaza Strip into Israel to stop immediately and throws its backing behind efforts by Egypt and the UN to calm the situation. The spokeswoman stated that the rocket fire from Gaza towards Israel must stop immediately, and de-escalation of this dangerous situation is urgently needed to ensure that civilian lives are protected. IDF tanks and helicopters began attacking terrorist targets belonging to Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad in the Gaza Strip, managing to destroy an attack tunnel entering Israel from the southern part of the Strip. The tunnel was, until Saturday, under surveillance by the IDF. It was destroyed by fighter planes. A Hamas spokesperson in Gaza stated that the resistance is always ready to respond to the crimes of the occupation. We are committed to protecting our people and to deter Israel at all costs and under all circumstances. It goes on further to report that since the beginning of the weekend, 5 Palestinians have been killed according to Palestinian sources. The Gaza Health Ministry, however, reports that 1 was killed and 9 injured. The Israeli military says it has attacked some 120 targets in the Gaza Strip after hundreds of rockets and mortar shells were fired at southern Israel throughout the day, injuring 2 people, including an 80-year-old woman who was seriously injured after a rocket exploded. And Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Saturday instructed the army to deal a hard blow to terror groups in the Gaza Strip in response to the rocket fire. A senior Israeli official told Channel 13 News that there is growing understanding that there will not be an immediate return to calm on the southern border, with an expectation of at least 2 to 3 days of fighting. The army has warned it will expand strikes in the Gaza Strip if rocket fire from the enclave continues. So definitely a very dangerous situation what's happening in Israel right now. And I will continue to follow these reports and bring you updates. But speaking of Israel, I would like to bring you a quick update in regards to the peace plan. The Jerusalem Post is reporting that Jared Kushner stated on Thursday that he hopes Israel will take a hard look at President Trump's upcoming Middle East peace proposal before proceeding with any plan to annex West Bank settlements. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed that he would annex Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank in a move that would be bound to trigger condemnation from the Palestinians and the Arab world and complicate the U.S. peace effort. Kushner, speaking at a dinner of the Washington Institute for Near East Policy, said the Middle East peace proposal that he has been putting together was was close to release and that Israel and the Palestinians should wait to see it before making any unilateral moves. He said the issue would be discussed with the Israeli government when Netanyahu forms a governing coalition, stating that I hope both sides will take a real look at it, the Israeli side and the Palestinian side, before any unilateral steps are made. However, the Palestinians have refused to talk to the U.S. side since President Trump decided to move the U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem and declare Jerusalem the capital of Israel. The Palestinians want to establish a state in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip, all territory Israel captured in 1967. Kushner has stated, "What we will be able to put together is a solution that we believe is a good starting point for the political issues, and then outline for what can be done to help these people start living a better life." I was given the assignment of trying to find a solution between the two sides, and I think what we'll put forward is a framework that I think is realistic. It's executable, and it's something that I do think will lead to both sides being much better off. Kushner has stated that the proposal is not an effort to impose U.S. will on the region. He has not said whether it calls for a two-state solution, a goal of past peace efforts, but on Thursday night he called on all critics to hold their fire until they are able to see the plan in its entirety. Apparently there are reports that the peace plan will be released sometime in June, so I will definitely continue to keep you updated. However, I would like to move on and talk about North Korea. Reuters is reporting that North Korea had fired several unidentified short-range projectiles into the sea off its coast on Saturday, prompting South Korea to call on its neighbor to stop acts that escalate military tension on the Korean peninsula. The South Korean military initially described it as a missile launch, but subsequently gave a more vague description. The latest firing came after the North's test of what it called a tactical guided weapon system in April. Analysts suspected the flurry of military activity by North Korea was an attempt to exert pressure on the United States to give ground in negotiations to end the North's nuclear program after a summit in February ended in failure. South Korea's presidency urged North Korea to refrain from further action, stating that we are concerned about the North's latest action. We expect North Korea to actively join efforts toward the fast resumption of denuclearization talks. In a Twitter message on Saturday morning, President Donald Trump said he was still confident that he could reach a deal with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, tweeting that I believe that Kim Jong-un fully realizes the great economic potential of North Korea and will do nothing to interfere or end it. He also knows that I am with him and does not want to break his promise to me. Deal will happen. A senior research fellow at the Korea Defense and Security Forum described Saturday's action as an expression of the North's frustration, stating that it is a message that could return to the previous confrontational mode if there is no breakthrough in the stalemate. Finally, it reports that the South Korean military said it was conducting joint analysis with the United States of the latest launches. Experts say the projectiles appeared to come from multiple rocket launchers and were not ballistic missiles. But on Tuesday, North Korea's Vice Foreign Minister warned that the United States would face undesired consequences if it fails to present a new position in denuclearization talks by the end of the year. On Friday, President Trump spoke with Russian President Putin by phone for about an hour, covering a range of topics at a time of heightened tensions between the two nations. President Trump himself later called it a long and very good conversation as the two discussed trade, Venezuela, Ukraine, North Korea, nuclear arms control, and even the Russian hoax. President Trump was of the opinion that long before the witch hunt started, getting along with Russia, China, and everyone is a good thing, not a bad thing. In a readout provided after Friday's call, the Kremlin stated that the heads of state expressed satisfaction with the conversation, which was businesslike and constructive. During the talk, common views were reached on North Korea and the need to intensify dialogue in various fields, including on issues of strategic stability. But on Venezuela, President Putin warned that attempts to change power by force undermine the prospects for a political settlement of the crisis. And Trump stated that President Putin is not looking at all to get involved in Venezuela, other than he'd like to see something positive happen. And I feel the same way, stated the president. We want to get some humanitarian aid. Right now, people are starving. They have no water, and they have no food. Meanwhile, Pompeo called Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Wednesday to increase the pressure. Pompeo is expected to speak with Russian officials again next week, and senior administration officials are discussing what may be offered to entice President Putin to abandon Maduro, or at least get out of the way of the international effort to support Guaido. The senior administration official stated that at the end of the day, if we can come to terms with Russia and they fall back on their support for Maduro, that would be a huge deal. President Donald Trump and other top administration officials this week repeatedly said all options were under consideration, including military ones. There are several steps that can be taken short of ground troops, including covert operations and a naval blockade. The increased attention to military option for Venezuela, which has been defined, is raising concerns across Washington and the region. Some diplomats and former Trump officials spoke out against the use of unilateral force and argued it's time for a shift in strategy. Some Trump allies are pushing the administration to take stronger steps, including authorizing covert operations and psychological warfare. And in Venezuela, Maduro has repeatedly warned the United States against military involvement in the ongoing political crisis. The Venezuelan leader has called on the military to be ready in case the United States launches an offensive on Venezuelan soil, telling his soldiers to be ready to defend the country with weapons in hand if one day the North American empire dares to touch this land, this sacred ground. The years-long political crisis in Venezuela reached a boiling point this week when Juan Guaido announced that he called the final push to oust Maduro. Guaido called on civilians and military on Tuesday.
So, while these North American Edomites think that these other nations is going to find some way to come to their table and be at peace, that's a lie, man. Because the scripture says otherwise. So this is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 7. And it reads, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So you North American Edomites don't understand that these Russian Edomites and these Moabites and these Ammonites, they are not on your side, man. Okay? The Spirit of the Lord is going to have them to show their true nature, man, soon. But right now, it said they that eat their bread, with thee have laid a wound under thee, man. So they deceiving you. Okay? They are deceiving North America. So that prophecy, that's why Obadiah 1 and 3 say, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee. So while you eat North American Edomites, while Trump thinking everything is going to be come to an agreement, if he thinking these other nations going to come to agreement, his pride have deceived him, man. Okay? These North American Edomites' pride have deceived him, because these Russian Edomites and these Moabites and Ammonites, they are not going to sit down with you at the table, man, talking about denuclearizing weapons, man. That ain't finna happen, man. Because the prophecies say the nations that was weak, they are not weak no more, man. They are strong. The Lord say, let the weak say I'm strong. So these nations ain't afraid to go against North America, man. So that's what you're seeing right here. This is the pride of Esau Edom hard, thinking that he's going to come to an agreement with these other nations, man, on not using their missiles, not testing their missiles. And the Lord say he blew the coals in the fire, who created, he have created the smith that blew the coals in the fire and created an instrument for his works, man, the wasted to destroy. So this is, okay, Jeremiah 15:25, the weapons of the Lord indignation, okay, the indignation of the Lord, man. He have opened up his armory, man, which is these missiles. So while these North American Edomites is trying to sort things out with other nations, it ain't gonna happen, man. Okay, that's why I say all the men of that confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The border of what, man? War, man. Okay, to fight. They will fight with these other nations, man. Okay, even though they all gonna join together to fight against the Lord. Okay, they're gonna fight against Yahushua when he return. But there's gonna be no peace, man. They keep talking about this peace plan. And like I say in 1 Thessalonians, there shall be no peace, man. They say the same thing in Ezekiel, the 7th chapter. There shall be no peace. So,
to join his attempted coup, saying that he had the backing of the armed forces. Only a small amount of the military appeared to have heeded his call, and Nicolas Maduro the following day said the uprising had been a failure, pledging to resist the forces intent on submitting our country to a neo-colonial economic domination model and enslaving Venezuela. So some very interesting news there in regards to Venezuela. Hopefully there will not be any military confrontation, but as always, I will definitely continue to keep you updated. But I do have one last report I'd like to bring to you. RT News is reporting that China is interested in joining a nuclear pact with the United States and Russia to reduce the number of nuclear warheads. President Trump stated that we're talking about a nuclear agreement where we make less and they make less, and maybe even get rid of the tremendous firepower we have right now. He and President Putin discussed a possibility of making it a three-way deal with China, adding that Beijing would very much like to be a part of the deal. He had brought up the topic in the ongoing trade talks with the Chinese, and they were more excited about it than about the trade. Earlier this month, in a meeting with Chinese trade envoy, Trump bemoaned the levels of military spending by major powers, suggesting all that money could be better spent on other things. He also said at the time, I think it's much better if we all got together and we didn't make these weapons. So definitely some very positive news there. But only if the US, Russia, and China can come together and agree. But I guess only time will tell. But with that said,
hey, the scriptures say a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Now, just a week ago, Trump just said that they was gonna do a surprise strike on Russia, man. But now he trying to get Russia and China to join with them, man. See, this is what Obadiah 1:3 say, man. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, man. See, these Edomites is double-minded, man. Okay. I got one more clip I'm going to play.
New revolutionary VoIP phones are taking the country by storm. What is it exactly?
The sky above Gaza City muddies with smoke as this latest exchange of violence leaves its trace. Israel says it's launched more than 220 airstrikes on militants in Gaza this weekend, in response to over 400 Palestinian rockets. At a cabinet meeting, Israel's Prime Minister vowed to keep up the bombings and send more troops to the border.
This morning, I instructed the IDF to continue massive attacks against terrorist elements in the Gaza Strip. I also ordered the reinforcement of the units around the Gaza Strip with armor, artillery, and infantry.
Now, how this supposed to be the land? How does
People
it?
in the Gaza Strip once again navigate a
Look at this,
landscape
man.
of rubble. Authorities here say several people have died
Look
and
at
dozens
this.
are wounded.
A neighbor called me at 2 o'clock in the morning and told me the building had been destroyed. I was surprised, so I came here and I saw the destruction. They fired 3 missiles at the building, which is 7 floors high, and I was shocked.
In southern Israel, air raid sirens wailed as Palestinian rockets continued to be fired at the country. Israel's Iron Dome defense system has intercepted dozens of them, but this house close to the border shows how some have made it through. An Israeli father of 4 was killed here when a piece of ricocheting shrapnel lodged itself in his chest. Several more Israelis have been wounded by the Palestinian rockets. Israel has now closed its crossings with Gaza for people and goods. A carefully negotiated truce between the two sides has once again proved fragile.
And for more on this, I'm joined by our correspondent Tanya Kramer, who's in southern Israel. Tanya, where exactly are you and what's the latest there?
Well, I'm here in a small community which is about 42 kilometers away from Gaza.
No one ain't got to hear no more of that. I want to play this again, what this devil just said.
Its trace. Israel says it's launched more than 220 airstrikes on militants in Gaza this weekend, in response to over 400 Palestinian rockets.
Now listen to what this devil says.
Israel's Prime Minister vowed to keep up the bombings and send more troops to the border.
This morning, I instructed the IDF to continue massive attacks against terrorist elements in the Gaza Strip. I also ordered the reinforcement of the units around the Gaza Strip with armor, artillery, and infantry.
Now he said, he told them, hey, to be prepared, man, okay? With armor and infantry, man. But this supposed to be the Holy Land, but they over there shooting missiles at each other, man. The Ishmaelites and the Edomites. So how's it the Holy Land if the Lord say in Isaiah 2 that they shall learn war no more? They shall beat their plowshares into pruning hooks and their spears into matter of fact, let me read it. This is Isaiah chapter 2. Isaiah 2 in verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So, but this supposed to be the land, this supposed to be the Holy Land. They said that is the Holy Land, but it's war over there. The Lord said they would learn war no more if that was the Holy Land, man. Okay? If that was the land that the Israelites are living in, it wouldn't be no more war. So this is a sign showing you that these are not the Israelites in the land of Israel, man. Okay? Those are Edomites and Ishmaelites over there fighting for land that ain't even theirs, man. Now this is Psalm 79 in verse 1. It says, O power, the heathen are coming to thy inheritance. Thy holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. This is Isaiah 1 and 7. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. And we see this going on now with these missiles, man. The cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. And it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. Those are strangers in our land, man. Okay? Strangers. What did Job 9 and 24 say? Let's read that. This is Job chapter 9 in verse 24. And it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judge thereof. It's not wearing. Who is he? Okay? You don't have no Chinese Jesus. You don't have no Japanese Jesus. You don't have no African Jesus. Okay? The only images of Jesus that you have is these Edomite Jesus. So it say, if it's not the Edomites, wherein who is he? Okay? Because the only one that set that image up to be themselves, to be the Messiah, was the Edomites. It said the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. So the Lord say, strangers devour your land, man. Okay? They have laid it on heaps, man. It is desolate. And they are burning it with fire, man. So this is that same verse from Isaiah 1 and 7 and Psalm 79 and 1 in the New Testament, which is Luke 21 and verse 24. And it reads, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive. This talking about 70 AD into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So it said Jerusalem shall be trodden down, man, with Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled, man. So that's what you see going on right now. So that's why this truth going out to let you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans know that those people that's in their land, those are not the Israelites, man. Okay? Those are heathens, man. Those are Gentiles that's trodden down our land. And this truth is going out to wake up the elect. This is Psalms 19, verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of power, and the firmament show of his handiwork. Okay? Because they got them satellites everywhere. So you got this World Wide Web everywhere, man. And this truth is going out through YouTube. Verse 2, day unto day utter speech, and night unto night show of knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. The line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them have he set a tabernacle for the sun. Meaning this truth is going out through the internet, man. Okay, it said that line is going out. He said there is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Meaning it don't matter what country a person in, man. This truth is going out through the World Wide Web, man. Okay, everywhere. So this truth is being pushed every day, man. It said day unto day utter speech, and night unto night show of knowledge. So it don't matter, man. You got brothers putting up videos all day through the day, man. Okay? All night through the night, man. Pushing this truth, showing knowledge, revealing these devils for who they really is. This is Romans. It's Romans chapter 10, verse 18. And it basically the same thing that Psalms 19 say. Romans chapter 10, verse 18. But I say, have they not heard? With a question mark, I say, yes, verily, their sound into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. How does the words of the Lord go into the ends of the world? Through the internet, man. Through the unicorn, okay? Through the unicorn, man. Now this is Job 39 and verse 9, and it reads, will a unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib? And the unicorn is willing to serve you, man. If you got the unicorn in your crib, it will abide by you, man. Okay, whatever you go on the unicorn and do, if you searching up history, it's going to give you accurate history, man. Okay, because these Edomites done put everything on the unicorn. Okay, you can search out anything, man. Any and everything. So it say, Job 39 and 9, will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib? Yeah, it will abide by your crib because you control the unicorn. The unicorn you can type anything up on Google, anything, man, and it's going to give you information on what you're looking for. It say, verse 11, it say, would I trust him because his strength is great, or would I leave thy labor to him? Hey, we're pushing our labors on the unicorn, man. Okay, when we are not out on the highways and byways pushing the truth out, we put it up on a unicorn, man. Okay, because the unicorn pushes the label, man. When you put the truth on YouTube, when you put up videos, hey, it go out into the world, man. Okay. Verse 12 again, it said, would thou believe him that he will bring home thy seed and gather it into thy bond? So the unicorn is gathering the elect, man. Okay, through the World Wide Web. Again, verse 9, will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib? It's a question mark. Yes, it will, man. Would thou trust him because his strength is great, or would thou leave thy labor to him? Will thou believe him that he will bring home thy seed? Meaning you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans is waking up through the internet and gather it into thy bond. Because the Lord said he's going to gather. And when you read about the wheat and the tares in Revelation 13 chapter, man, when he said he's going to gather the wheat into his bond, but the tares he's going to put them in bundles and burn them, man. Okay, so This is letting you know in Job 39:9, 9 through 12, that the unicorn, which is the internet, is gathering the elect, man. This is Isaiah 34 and verse 5. Now, once the Lord finished using the internet to gather his elect, them 144,000, it's going to be destroyed along with the creator who created the internet, who the Lord put a spirit on these Edomites to create the internet. And this is proof. This is Isaiah 34 verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, meaning here on earth, because they already got that saying that this is the white man's heaven and the black man's hell. And this is their heaven. This is their rulership. Their heaven talking about their kingdom, their rulership, their power. So it's the sword of the Lord. No, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is the Greek word for Edom. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. So you Edomites is cursed, man. That's why you got leprosy, man. Okay, when the Lord turned Miriam white, he gave her the curse of leprosy, man. Okay, it's a curse, man. The sword of the Lord Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of kittens of rams. For the Lord Yahweh have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the unicorns shall come down with them. Okay? Hey, there's no real unicorns, man. Okay? The Lord say, and the unicorns shall come down with them, man. What unicorn? The internet, man. Okay? The World Wide Web, man. It shall come down when the Lord destroy North America. Okay? Hey, everything about North America is going to come down, man. Everything. Their power. Okay? Everything they got, man, is going to fall to nothing. Isaiah 45:7, Isaiah 47:1 said, come down and sit in the dust over the daughter of Babylon. So this is Psalms 94 and verse 15. And it reads, but judgment shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it, meaning the elect, the 144. Verse 16, who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? The elect, man. The elect is going to stand up, man, and push this truth. Okay, stiffly, boldly, man. As the scriptures say, man. Okay, them dead bodies in Ezekiel 37 chapter, man. Okay, the valley of dry bones, man. The Lord said he put breath into them to push the truth. That exceedingly great army, man, which is the 144,000, to push the truth. This is 1 Peter chapter 1. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 7. And it reads, they say, but the end of all things is at hand. And we see this, man, with this war going on, with this little back and forth missiles attacks with these Ishmaelites and these Edomites in Israel, man. Okay, the Lord say, your land shall be trodden down by Gentiles till the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled, man. Those are Gentile heathens in our land fighting for land that ain't even theirs, man. That is a prophecy, man. Okay? That's in Psalm 79, Isaiah 1 and 7, and it's in Luke, man. The 21st chapter, verse 24, from the Old to the New Testament. This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye sober and watch unto prayer. The Lord say in Isaiah 62 that he set up watchmen, man, to keep watch. So this is what a man of the Lord, a man of Yahweh is supposed to do, is keep watch, man. Okay? While you got 2/3 Jake out there having a good time partying and wasting their life away, these prophecies are playing out, man. Okay? This is Sirach chapter 36 and verse 7. It say, raise up indignation. Indignation means righteous anger. And pour out wrath. take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Who are our enemies? When you read Psalm 83, it tell you the Edomites, the Moabites, the Ishmaelites, the Ammonites, the Hamites, okay? All these heathen nations, man. Amalek, the chief house of Edom, man. All Edomites, all so-called Chinese, so-called Japanese, the so-called Africans, or all the Hamites, they all hate you, man. They are our enemies. Verse 8, make the time short. Remember the covenant and let them declare thy wonderful works. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Okay? Smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen, man. Okay? That say there is none other but we. So that's Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. There is none other but we. This is what the heathen saying. Verse 11, gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit thou them as from the beginning, man. Now, the point I want to make was, in Sirach 36 and 8, it said, make the time short. Remember the covenant. Now, it said, make the time short. Now, when you go to Matthew chapter 24 and 22, what did the Lord say? Matthew 24 and verse 22. And except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So right here in Sirach 36, verse 8 says, make the time short. And the Lord has speeded up the time, man. You can see that every day, man. These days are going by fast, man. Okay? 2019 just came in, man. The year of Corona, and it's already May, man. Okay? The time is flying, but the Lord has speed up the time because he said, if he did speed up the time, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be short. And the days are short, man. This is and why Jake out here playing games, worrying about nothing, man. Okay, trying to keep up with the Jones and chase these fairy tale dreams. Okay, trying to be like the Edomites. So this is Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14, and it reads, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Why is Israel spoiled? The Lord says, is they a servant? Are they homeborn slaves? Because Jake what? Want to follow? Oh, matter of fact, let me get it. This is Isaiah. This is Isaiah 30 and 12. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. So you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, the reason you are homeborn slaves, you are servants, and you are spoiled because you trust in oppression, man. Okay? You trust in oppression. You trust in your slave master, man. Now this is Second Ezra, which link also to, is Israel a servant? Is Israel a homeborn slave? Why are they spoiled? The reason they are spoiled and homeborn slaves and servants, because of this. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 10. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. Okay? So you're receiving benefits because of what? When you read Isaiah chapter 30, Isaiah 30 and Isaiah 30 and verse 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with their covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, meaning the strength. The new Pharaoh is North America, which right now is Trump, man, okay? To trust in this government, in this system, man. Because the Lord said that which was shall be again, and there's nothing new under the sun. And to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Okay? So you trust in this system, man. You trust in North America, man. Okay? Whatever country Jake is scattered at, they trust in that system, man. But the Lord said, you took a covering, but not of my spirit. So that's why Jake is spoiled. That's why they are homeborn slaves. Because they have received benefits and have not known the Lord, man. I'm talking about all the way from your Jay-Z's down to your regular Jake that's in the projects, man. They have received benefits and have not known the Lord, man. So they have become homeborn slaves, man. And like the brother was saying at camp, you got Jake. Hey, when the cell door opened up to let him out of jail, man, they lock the door and tell the guard they good, man. They straight. They don't want to come out, man. Because that's the mentality of Jake, man. They want to stay in slavery with a few perks, man. Okay, they want to, hey, this is land of our captivity. But Jake want to stay here because they probably got a nice crib. They got a nice job. Okay, they got a nice house. They got a nice family or whatever. So they good. They don't want to leave here, man. So Jake has become homeborn slaves, man. Because they have received benefits not knowing the Heavenly Father. But seeing all these things that's going on, what manner of person are you ought to be in our holy conversation, man? Seeing that the world going to be destroyed by ICBM's missiles, man. What manner of person are you ought to be in our holy conversation? But that's the spirit the Lord has said. He has made their ears fat and their eyes heavy, man. So they ain't gonna understand. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna close on this, and this is what Isaiah. Let me see, Isaiah chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 8. And also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, who will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. And he said, go and tell these people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. And see you indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of these people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they will see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed. Then said I, Lord Yahweh, how long? So Isaiah asked, Lord, how long is Israel going to be like this? How long are they going to be bored out of their mind, want to follow the ways of this world? And this is what the Lord told Isaiah. Then said I, Lord Yahweh, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate, man. Okay? So this destruction, man, have to come for 2/3 of Israel, because they want to follow ways of the heathen, man. The Lord said in Jeremiah 10, learn not the way of the heathen, man. But because they did that, they have become homeborn slaves, servants. They have become spoiled because they have received benefits from Esau, Edom, and have not known the Lord, man. It's the Lord's witness of edifying. Got to give all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash, double honor to the apostles and elders and great millstone rule well, who teach well, and the sincere salutation to all the occupant pushing the truth to the four winds of the earth, waking up the hope for the elect. Shalom to the Akwa for listening and learning. Hey, shalom.